Hey man, what's up?
Mr. Jurek, an original copy of Shakespeare's Othello has recently surfaced in the dark market.
Okay. Dude, I'm in the middle of a Fortnite game, man. I got 10 kills, 2 people left.
Would you be interested in uncovering it?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I see someone. Boom, headshot. Alright, yo, dude. I'll come to after I finish this game, man. It's almost done. Okay, see ya.
Yes, let's get the boys together. See you later, Mr. Jurek.
Let's go. Oh, get him. Hey, what's up?
Mr. Spanier, have you heard? Othello's came back up.
Really? Is it dangerous?
It's pretty dangerous. Are you in?
What's my cut?
It's negotiable. Still in?
Yeah, I'm in. Let's get this. Wait, where are we meeting?
Can you meet at the corner of 2nd and Cobblestone?
Alright, I'll be there. See you later.
See you there.
Alright, boys, let's do this. William Shakespeare, born on April 26, 1564, raised in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire, England. William was the son of John Shakespeare, an alderman, and Mary Arden, the daughter of a farmer. After being educated at to believe the King's New School in Stratford, in 1582, at the mere age of 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who also at the time was 26. Talk about taste in older women. Anne was able to give birth to 3 children, Susanna, Hamnet, and Judith.
During his life, from 1564 to 1616, Shakespeare wrote numerous plays. This includes some of his most famous works, such as Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and of course, Othello. He also dedicated several poems and wrote over 100 sonnets. Whilst writing Othello, Shakespeare was a member of the King's Men under King James I. This is where he writes some of his most famous dramatic works.
Othello was written in 1604. However, it was not published until 1623. Othello is thought to be one of Shakespeare's best tragedies due to its distinct lack of humor and comic relief. Shakespeare only had one granddaughter, who died in 1670 without any children, therefore ending his lineage. Othello is the play's North African protagonist and hero. He is a highly respected general for Venice's army. Othello is secretly in love with Desdemona. Despite his respected status, Othello is somewhat insecure and gullible. This leads him into trouble as the plot progresses. Desdemona is a rich daughter of a Venetian senator who fell for Othello. The two secretly elope and get married. Desdemona is a strong, independent woman who isn't afraid to speak her mind.
Cassio, recently appointed to the general second in command, creates discrepancy with Iago, who is infuriated with this promotion. Like everyone in the world, Cassio has some flaws. First of all, he is a lightweight when it comes to drinking. As well, he is a ladies' man. Some may call this a curse, some may call this a blessing.
Lodovico acts as a messenger from Venice to Cyprus. He arrives in Cyprus in Act 4 with letters announcing that Cassio is to replace Othello as governor. Some say that Iago is an artist of evil. In the same way that some people enjoy writing songs or filming movies, Iago enjoys ruining people's lives. He does it with a sense of craftsmanship, appreciating the elegance or cleverness of a particular step in his scheme as much as its final result. Incredible suffering for the people he has chosen. Throughout the play, Iago sets out to ultimately undermine Desdemona and Othello's relationship. Ultimately, every play needs to have an evil antagonist, and Iago fills that role.
The story begins in the streets of Venice, where Iago and Roderigo are conversing. Iago explains his hatred for Othello, as Othello recently chose someone else for the promotion that Iago believed he deserved. Othello and Desdemona plan to elope and get married, and Iago and Roderigo tell her father that she has run away. Desdemona's father is furious, and he gets some men to chase down Othello and threaten to kill him. To solve the conflict, they visit the Duke. Desdemona interrupts the meeting and confesses her love for Othello and how she wants to elope on her own free will. The Duke then solves the conflict by sending Othello to Cyprus to defend his honor from the Turkish navy and bringing Desdemona with him. Iago tells Roderigo he still has a chance of being with Desdemona because Iago says he'll work to convince Othello that Desdemona is cheating on him.
At the beginning of Act 2, we are still uncertain whether or not Othello has survived the tempest out at sea. Hope lifts as voices offstage announce the sighting of a sail offshore. However, the ship turns out to be carrying Iago, Emilia, Desdemona, and Roderigo. Shortly after, Othello arrives and expresses his devotion to Desdemona by giving her a kiss. Continuing on, Iago and Cassio are on watch. Iago plots against Cassio, against Roderigo, and ultimately ending up in a fight between Montano when he tried to step in. This results in Othello coming and dismissing Cassio of his service.
At the beginning of this act, Cassio sends musicians to Othello's window in hopes of ultimately getting the chance to talk to Desdemona in a series of telephone. Whilst Othello and Desdemona are talking, Emilia tells Cassio to wait. After conversing, Desdemona vows to do everything in her power to help Cassio's behalf when Othello and Iago enter. When Othello enters, Desdemona pleads to him to reinstate Cassio as lieutenant. After arguing for a bit, he sends Desdemona off to be alone. This is where Iago plants the seed of adultery, cuckoldry, and hypocrisy into the mind of Othello, saying Cassio and Desdemona are having an affair.
At the beginning of Act 4, Othello overhears a conversation between Cassio, Iago, and Bianca. Othello was convinced Desdemona was cheating on him by what he heard. Bianca then throws Desdemona's handkerchief at Cassio, which Othello interprets as a sign of Cassio gloating about his affair with Desdemona. Othello then plots to kill Cassio and Desdemona. Lodovico then shows up and takes Othello's spot as commander. Iago then convinces Roderigo to kill Cassio.
In Act 5, Scene 2, the scene to be performed, Othello is overwhelmed with emotion from the stories Iago has told him about Desdemona. So Othello kills both Desdemona and himself.
Sir, you shall understand what hath befallen, which, as I think, you know not. Here is a letter, found in the pocket of the slain Roderigo, and here another. The one of them imports the death be Cassio, to be undertook by Roderigo.
Oh, villain!
Most heathenish and most gross.
Now here is another discontented paper, found in his pocket too, and this it seems. Roderigo meant I'd have sent this damned villain, but that belike Lago in the nick came in and satisfied him.
O thou precious caitiff, how came you, Cassio, by that handkerchief that was my wife's?
I found it in my chamber, and he himself confessed it. But even now that there he dropped it for a special purpose, which wrought to his desire.
Oh, fool, fool, fool.
There is besides, in Roderigo's letter, how he unbraids Lago, that he made him, brave me upon the watch. Whereon it came that I was cast, and even but now he speaks. After long seeming death, Lago had hurt him. Lago set him on.
You must forsake this room and go with us. Your power and your command is taken off, and Cassio rules in Cyprus. For this slave, if there be any cunning cruelty that can torment him this much and hold him long, it shall be his. You shall choose close prisoner rest till that the nature of your fault be known. To the Venetian states, come and bring away.
Soft you, a word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they know it. No more of that. I pray you, in your letters, when you shall see these unlucky deeds relate, speak of me as I am. Nothing to exaggerate, nor set down aught in malice. Then you must speak of one that not loved wisely, but too well. Of one not easily jealous, but being wrought. Perplexed in the extreme, of those who hand threw a part away, richer than all his tribe, of those who subdued eyes, albeit unused to the melting mood, drops tears as fast as the raving trees. Their medicinal gum set you down this, and say besides, that in Aleppo once, where a malignant and turbaned Turk beat a Viennan and traduced the state, I took by the throat the circumcised dog, and smote him thus.
Oh, bloody period!
I kissed thee, ere I killed thee. No way but this, killing myself to die upon a kiss.
This did he fear, but thought that he had no weapon, for he was a great of heart.
O Spartan dog, more fell than English hunger or the seal. Look on the tragic loading of this bed. This is thy work. The object poisons the sight. Let it be hid, Gratiano. Keep the horse, and seize behind the fortress of the Moor. For they succeed you, on you. To you, Lord Governor, remains the censure of this hellish villain. The time, the place, the torture, oh, enforce it! Myself will straight aboard, and to the state this heavy act with the heavy heart relate.
The play ends with the death of Othello. As well, Iago is put on trial for the commotion he has caused. He is then tortured for the rest of time. In the final line of the play, Ludovico blames Iago for the death of Othello and Desdemona. Scene 2, Act 5 is the most important scene in the play because it shows the fate of our main characters. Jealousy is one of the main themes prevalent in Othello. This is primarily orchestrated by the hero succumbs to jealousy when Iago convinces him that Desdemona has been an unfaithful wife. In the end, Othello murders his wife and then kills himself. It is interesting that Iago uses jealousy against Othello, yet jealousy is likely the source of Iago's hatred in the first place.
We found Othello to be a very interesting story and play. Dual race marriages was a very different and yet difficult concept to grasp during Shakespeare's time, and the play really opened the eyes of many to it.